hello, welcome, come on in. Oh, how is your day? Oh, really? Okay, up here, it's not very good at all. It's misty, it's murky, and it's raining. It's a typical autumnal day, so I'm staying put inside my lovely roasty toasty narrowboat. Well, this week's vlog then. This is in some ways quite a difficult one because it brings back a few unpleasant memories for me. But you may recall that in my last two vlogs, when I left Tixel Wide and when I left Great Yarmouth, I did mention that this is the cruise that nearly ended my desire to spend a life on the cut. It's a little bit different, this one, to any other vlog that I have done. Footage is not as complete as I would like it to be, as I will explain as we go along. However, it does tell my story, and after all, this is what this vlog series is all about. So let's get on with the cruise. I'll catch you at the end, and I've got some news for you too, but that will be right at the end. So this is the tale of how tiredness and my own stupidity nearly ended my dream. Let me explain. Back in August 2018, I suffered a pulmonary embolism, shortly followed by pneumonia, which entailed quite a stay in hospital, from which I was not expected to survive. But I did, and having got over that, I was rewarded some 6 months later with a stroke. If you want to find out more about that story, it's diarised on my website, narrowboattales.com. The result of all this means that if I overexert myself, i.e. I do a lot of manual work, I can suffer very easily from tiredness, partly due to the damage caused to my lung. I tend therefore not to cruise more than 2 to 3 hours a day, and I try to limit myself to no more than 6 slots. Unfortunately, today the gods were not with me, and having left Tixel Wide at 7:30 in the morning and studied my map book all the way to Stone, on arrival there was absolutely no place to moor up. The only place available was the water point just before the bottom lock at Stone. So, having taken some time off to fill up with water and grab a bite to eat, I had no choice but to carry on to what would eventually be a total of 12 locks, over 13 miles, and some 10 hours between the two. Now we got that out of the way, let's go to the stone lock. Having opened the gate and brought the boat into the lock, a voice suddenly shouted down, "Stay on the boat!" And that was my first lock angel, Caroline. Shortly to be joined by my second, Lorraine. What were your names?
Lorraine. Caroline.
Caroline and Lorraine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it.
Welcome. I'll see you at the next lock.
Oh, you might do.
Yeah.
Depends how quick you are. So you'll be quicker than me. After the stone flight of locks, there's another flight named Meaford. The last but one of these locks, I knew I was in trouble. I managed to get the boat into the lock, and with nowhere to moor up other than a lock landing, I had no choice. I climbed the ladder and I got to the top of the lock. At this point, jelly descended upon my legs, and I knew that I had a big problem. Out of absolutely nowhere, this lovely Lorraine appeared, and I think she guessed that I was in trouble. Told me to get back on the boat after it had risen up the lock, then went and set and saw me through the final lock in this set. From there, desperately looking for somewhere to moor up, I finally arrived at Barlaston, and here I found a mooring and was able to moor up and collapse into the armchair on the boat. A lesson well learned. Unfortunately, in my haste to get away, I forgot to put new batteries in my cameras, all three of them, and the HD cards I forgot to check or download what was already on them, so I have space to record the rest of the journey. However, this is not the end of the tale. So let's take a look at a lock gate, or if you like, a diagram of a lock gate, and in particular the bottom lock gates. Here, when the water is equalised at the lower level, you can push the gate in this direction and the lock gate will open. Unfortunately, being absolutely stupid, I decided that rather than climb over the lock gate, I would pull the lock gate shut. And this is the culprit. Lime kiln lock. Now, as you can see from this photo, whose credit I've acknowledged at the bottom, the right hand gate arm, when closed, actually hangs slightly over the lock chamber. Now, I didn't know it at the time, but it was, when closing this gate, it's very much like it was on a fulcrum. So once it had gone over the pivot point, the lock gate wanted to close very rapidly, and there was no way I could stop an almost 2-ton gate from closing rapidly. So I had two choices: to jump into the canal chamber. Unfortunately, my boat was there, so that would have not have been without some form of injury. The alternative was to make a jump for that walkway. I can't tell you how I did it, but I made the jump to the walkway. Utter stupidity on my part. Well, there you go. As you can see, I survived and I'm here. Yeah. Difficult memories, some of those. Right. Now then, I've got to thank everybody who watched the live stream by Forgo Narrowboating last Tuesday. We had a terrific time, all of us that were involved in that, and especially me. I don't know why, I absolutely loved it, and I love the comments that we received afterwards. Oh, I want to give you all a big virtual hug. It is so nice to know that you appreciate the work that we do to bring these vlogs and other experiences to you. And I must say, we only do it because we really enjoy doing it. Bless you all. So, the news. Roll of the drums. Bum, 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 bum. We have now released the date of our next live streaming. That will be on the 23rd of December. That's just 2 days before Christmas at 7 o'clock in the evening. And we are delighted to announce that Fran and Rich from Floating Our Boat will be our guests during that evening's live stream. So please make a date in your diaries, or better still, follow the link in our social media and click the YouTube remind me button, and you'll be able to join us then. But for now, it's still miserable out there, it's still murky, it's still damp, but there's a fire in my heart. I feel alive. Oh dear, I don't know if you can say that. Anyway, I've said it. So, I wish you all the very, very best of health over the coming week. Please take care, look after yourselves, and I look forward to catching up with you next week for the continuation of my journey of life on board Narrowboat Morning Star. Ta-da!